Pass is caught. That's going to be a first down for the Ravens. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, and the crowd goes wild.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Play Action Podcast. I'm your host, quarterback coach Garrett Stapleton, and I'm honored to be joined here by our three defensive captains, junior defensive back Zaire Prelo, junior linebacker Jake Simpson, and senior defensive end Connor Huffman. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So, obviously, like I just mentioned, you guys are three defensive captains. Kind of talk about what that means to you individually.
Start
us off.
Well, this is my first time being the team captain on the team, so it means a lot to me, really, just because I haven't been having this role before. Obviously, coming from an old program to a new program, it feels good to have kind of a leadership role already. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm just excited. And
to kind of cut you off, like you just said, you've only been here for like 6 months, right? So kind of hit on what it's been able to mean to you to have that kind of impact that early.
It feels really good because when I came in, I didn't talk much. I was more just being about my business almost. So for the guys to trust me that fast, that feels really good that they welcome me with open arms like that.
All right, so kind of a similar situation as Zaire. So I actually transferred from another program, so to kind of have that under my belt now as a first-time captain too is pretty cool. And I think just to me, it just means a bigger job as a leader, not just on the field but off the field mentally with the guys. It just feels good that they give me trust this year to be able to do that.
Yeah. And you're a two-time captain. Yep.
Sure.
So what does that mean to you?
I think that I've been here for all 4 of my years of college, so I think the biggest thing for me when I was younger, I wasn't a vocal guy. I wasn't even coming into college, but I think when I got to college, I took it upon myself to kind of grow as a leader, grow as a vocal guy, and for me, it's just an honor to have my guys who I've been here the whole time with, and even these newer guys, take me as a leader and kind of put that faith and trust in me. So it's kind of cool to be able to grow in that aspect of my life.
Yep, and sticking with you, like I said, 2-time captain, 4-year starter. What kind of legacy, what kind of foundation do you want to leave before you leave this place?
The biggest thing for me, coming out of high school, I didn't really get any, accolades. I wasn't all-state, wasn't all-conference. I didn't even start until my junior year. So for me, I just want somebody to see a kid that can come from any school, any background, and somebody can make it. Somebody can do something with their life. And I think for me, just, making some random kid who's never started a football game, I want him to have that dream still. I want him to still have something to look forward to.
That's awesome. Yep, and kind of hitting on Jake, one of the most hardest working guys in our program, just to kind of see your leadership to kind of where you came in last year. Maybe not as vocal, but you kind of just took on that leadership role right when the offseason hit. I feel like you've grown immensely through your play and through your leadership. Kind of talk what motivates you internally, or what kind of keeps your drive going, because it's consistent day after day.
I'd say personally, before I kind of about the drive was the biggest thing. I think was seeing how much my teammates really believed in me now.
Yeah.
So I think seeing them first see that was kind of the big motivation first, because I already had, always my thing with football, I always tried to be the best player I could be. So that's what kind of motivated me. I come from a very football background family and just a very sports family, so I kind of took it upon myself to kind of motivate myself like that. I want to be the best person in my family and do something.
Yeah.
But now, like you said, coming in from the spring and this summer, just seeing how much my teammates have believed in me, that's honestly been my biggest inspiration, because I know if I can do my job and lead them, that's going to make me want to do better than more than just a football player.
Yeah.
So I think that's what just motivated me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Zaire, man, you kind of mentioned you're a little bit more of a quiet cat. Didn't really talk as much when you came in. Talk about kind of how that translates to the football field, especially at your position where guys are chirping all the time. The defensive guys love to chirp, especially the DBs love to chirp. So kind of talk about your play style versus your actual personality, if that makes sense.
Like I said, I'm more of a quiet guy. On the field, I don't talk much for me. I like to make my actions speak louder than words. Yep. So I'm loud with my guys. If somebody chirps at me, I chirp back, obviously, a couple of times. But I'm more about if I make a play here, who's gonna look good at the end of the day? You feel me? You're looking sad, I'm happy. Yeah. The guys are happy. You feel me? So my style is just go out and do that's all I can really say. Just go out and do.
Yep. And so now, kind of individually, each of you guys, can you guys talk about what this program has meant to you? And it's really unique, really unique timeline with each of you. Obviously, like you said, you guys two transferred in. You've been here for 4 years. So kind of talk about that change that you've seen and, what this program kind of means to you as a whole.
So I think for me personally, I came in here, I didn't even really know if I wanted to go to college coming out of high school. I knew I still wanted to play football, but obviously, you can't just come to play football. You got to go to school.
For sure.
So it took me a minute to really figure out what I wanted to do. I came here, I kind of knew what our history was, what our background was. I knew that there was success. I knew that there was kind of a couple rough years. But for me, I wanted to have that sort of challenge. I wanted to better myself, not like for my education, for my future career, everything. But I also wanted to take the challenge of kind of rebuilding a program, setting a future standard for everything. So I guess for me, just growing in that aspect, and then also as I started to get to know people more, meet everybody, I grew in my faith as well. So I think that's been the biggest part of my life, especially getting baptized. That was a huge part for me, and I know it was for you too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's the biggest part for me coming here.
All right, yeah. So kind of, I'll get into the spiritual journey, but yeah, especially transferring from a program where I probably wasn't in the best situation, like most people, they hit the transfer portal. What I saw with Anderson was a place with success, especially in my position. I saw that actually one of our linebackers did go to the NFL, so I know there is history with this position, and I thought, what's a place that's not going to only better my education from a private school, but probably give me the best chance for possibility to succeed. And I saw what the coaches that were coming in came from a lot of winning programs, and I liked what Coach Cobb was doing before he got to Anderson. So I thought with him it was just the right fit, and I just wanted to be a part of a team that needed a rebuild, and I just thought it was the best situation.
So Zaire, what about you?
Again, to piggyback off of both of them, I was a transfer as well. I actually came in behind Coach Cobb. I played at the school he was at before, so I've seen his way work. I've seen us win before. And as you said, maybe I wasn't the best fit for that program. So I looked into Anderson. I knew Coach Cotter came here. I've seen their values, and I was like, I can get with that. Obviously, last year wasn't as great as everybody wanted to be, and I feel like I can come shake things up and rebuild what once was before to bring it better, you feel me? So my goal was just to do that, and I trust the guys who were here before me, so that's it. I'm all in.
Yep. And 3 of the most hardworking guys on the team, 3 guys that'll give it all for their teammates, 3 all-in guys, and you 3 really embody what it means to be a Raven in the Raven way. So I just wanted to give you guys your flowers, and just want to say I appreciate you guys. But I do have one more question for each of you guys. So come up with it quickly. Give me your 3, because we have 2 long road trips this year, right?
Yeah.
What are your 3 biggest essentials for a long road trip?
Phone charger, headphones, pillow.
Gotta have a pillow. Gotta have a pillow.
I think mine's literally exactly what you just said. That's
Not one different thing? Not one different
I
thing?
thought of all 3 of the ones you just said.
Okay. Jake, you gotta do something
I'm
different.
going to sound like the big back here. So, number 1, snacks. You got to have a different variety. It cannot be the same every week.
Give me 2.
Are we talking small snacks or like bigger snacks?
Jake Simpson snacks, whatever.
Jake Simpson snacks. Okay, I'm probably, if it's a road trip, I'm going either Cheez-Its or trail mix.
Okay.
And then I know if we need a place to stop, I'm going Uncrustables.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Fire.
That's a good one.
And then my other 2 things, of course, would be probably either a blanket and then a phone charger.
Nice. Well, appreciate you guys coming on. Next, we're going to be interviewing the offensive captain, so really appreciate you 3 being on here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, so we're back with our 3 offensive captains. Senior offensive lineman Quinn Dryban, senior receiver Julian Holguin, had to nip that in the butt right there. And then senior captain quarterback Zach Montgomery. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Hey.
So, kind of like what I asked the defensive guys, what does being a captain mean to you? Obviously, you guys are all first-time captains, so what does a captain mean to all of you?
I'd say it's just the fact that my teammates trust me to lead them, and that they respect me enough about what I say and how I go about my business. So that's the biggest thing, and that's also the relationships. So like I'm a big like relationship guy, or try to be with a lot of people on the team. So like that's the biggest thing is that people on the team, especially younger guys, I feel like I've built a strong enough relationship with them so that they can trust me.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way with them even voting me in because, I mean, it's my 3rd season here and I haven't been voted in. I thought last year I probably would, but I didn't. But just knowing those guys trust me and I can be there for them and lead by example because, I mean, I'm not the most vocal, but you don't have to be out all the time. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like the other guy said. The biggest word there is trust. So, like, the fact that we have that level of trust with our teammates and amongst each other is huge because one of the things we talk about during the offseason is loving one another. The fact that we're able to serve each other and serve our teammates as well to the point where they trust us to lead this team is really big for us.
Yep. And sticking with Zach, so your dad, defensive coordinator here, also played here until 1993. Kind of talk about what it means to you to come back to your dad's alma mater and finish off your career here.
Yeah, personally, I mean, obviously, I have roots here. I'm an Anderson native. I think it's pretty awesome being back here as a 5th-year senior. All my family lives within like 10 miles of here, so to be able to play in front of them again is pretty huge. I think that for adding to the legacy is going to be important as well too, because it's been a long time since this program has had success, and I think that to replicate what they did back in the 90s with my dad's team would be really special.
And so now hitting on Julian, so you came in former defensive back, right? Played defensive back at your former college. Kind of talk about what that transition's been like these last 3 years, and it's been really cool to watch you grow, especially being here last year. Kind of from you were dancing a lot in your routes at first, and now I feel like you just grown so much, gotten a lot stronger. Kind of talk about what that transition's been like from DB to wide receiver.
Sure, playing DB has definitely helped me be a receiver.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, because I mean, back in my old school, we had a NFL caliber defense, so learning that defense and then using it on offense, knowing like tendencies on defense and what people's jobs are supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing has kind of helped me just grow, and I just keep doing that every day and stick with it. So.
All right. And my man Quinn. So it's been really cool to kind of see how you've grown over the last few years. I know last year, you were a little bit smaller, didn't say as much, kind of, stuck to yourself. It's been really awesome to kind of watch you blossom, and now you're a captain as a senior. Kind of talk about what this place has meant to you over these last 4 years.
Yeah, so definitely, like I mentioned the relationships earlier, like that's everything to me about it. Just like the fact that I've been able to get as close with the guys that I have, my roommates, even Juju and Zach, like, I've built, insane close relationships with them, and they've only been here. Zach just got here, and, Juju, I've been playing with him for 3 years, but I think the relationships is, like, the biggest thing to me. Like, regardless of what happens this year, win and loss, or school-wise, I'm going to leave with some of my best friends, I'm inviting them back to, my wedding and all of that. So, like, that's the coolest thing, and that's what has made this place really, really special to me. So, there's probably that.
Yep, and it's also been really cool to just kind of see all you guys grow as leaders. Obviously, like Julian, like you said, you're not really the most vocal guy, but kind of talk about different ways to lead by example for those who may not know.
It's just anything you do, really, because they're just always watching you, especially if they're willing to vote me for captain. So everything I do, from what I'm doing at breakfast to what I'm doing out on the practice field or on my spare time, they're going to see that and kind of try to follow me or, just be on my tail.
Yep. And for Zach, like we just said, you came in here in the winter, early winter. What has it been like for you to come in and make such a big impact as a leader and as a player so quickly?
Yeah, it's kind of like what Quinn and Juju said. You kind of just have to start by leading by example. Obviously, it's hard to build relationships when you don't grow up around these guys. I wasn't as fortunate enough to be around this team as long as they have, but for me, like, I'm kind of in the same boat. I like to lead from the front by my actions first, and then once you kind of build that trust with your teammates, with your coaches, with everybody else in the building, leading vocally just becomes a little bit more natural. Mm-hmm. But again, like, at the end of the day, it's more about what you do than what you say, and we try here to lead by example the best way we can, but at the end of the day, we're just trying to be ourselves and be authentic to who we are, and if that's who we need to be for this team, we'll be that. If we need to be a little bit more than that, then we will. I think that there will be tough times that come up this season that will require us to do a little bit more than what we're doing now. And at the end of the day, like I said, as long as we're leading from the front, leading by our actions and not just our words, and that's all that really matters.
Yep. And last kind of quick question for you guys. Talk about what you're most excited for as an offense this year, without giving away plays, personnel, obviously. Just talk about some basic stuff of what you're most excited about for our offense as a whole.
Bronze ball, getting that back. There's some empty hardware. We got some empty space on the shelf, so we shouldn't have ever lost it. So I'm really excited to get that back, especially since it'll be my last game of playing football ever. So I'm ready to go out there and just take the top off on them and get that ball back. I cannot wait.
I'm excited to see our whole O-line as a whole. I mean, I've seen them all grow tremendously since last season. I mean, starting as freshmen is pretty hard, and a lot of those guys have definitely stepped into some roles, and guys like Quinn and Jack Boy, they've stepped into their leadership roles on the line. And having this guy out here, I'm excited to see him, see what he can do with the rock.
I'll let Zach into mine too. I'll let Zach into mine.
Yeah, it's kind of like they said, our number one goal is to leave it better than we found it. So at the end of the day, X's and O's aside, stats aside, as long as this program keeps driving forward, that's all we're looking for. I know everybody up front's going to do their job. Everybody in the receiving corps is going to do their job. With the defensive guys on earlier, I think they're going to do a heck of a job this year and be leading from the front. But at the end of the day, we're looking to win some games, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm excited what this team can accomplish here in 2024, because it's going to be a lot different than 2023.
Yep. Last real quick question. I asked the last defensive guys, give me 3, since we have 2 long road trips this year, give me your 3 quick essentials needed for a long bus ride.
Headphones, laptop, and one of those neck pillows you put around your neck, because the bus seats are not that comfortable. Well, some of them are, but the headrest isn't that great, so you gotta get the neck pillow.
Yep. What about for you?
I already have my neck pillow too, and my headphones, and I'm not bringing a laptop, but I'm gonna bring a charger with me.
Phone charger. That's been the most popular answer so far. So, what about you?